Everybody? Okay.
Ahoy,
There we
hoy,
are.
Cone of
and
silence.
Hey!
ahoy, hoy, and welcome to the stream. This is play. I'm sorry, I'm all befuddled now.
I bobbled you.
This is Players in Book, a weekly live with audio this time. Weekly live stream D&D game.
With
Let's kick it.
audio.
Let's kick it over to Katie.
Everybody, my name is Katie Downey, aka Goblin Katie. I am certainly not responsible for the lack of audio.
Ever.
Tonight I
issues.
will I'm going to be playing Dominique, who is a Triton College of Eloquence bard. Real quick though, I want to give a shout out to Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. Bing! They have been ever so kind to give us a code this evening. So if you put this code in on Idle Champions, you get a free Electrum chest, and the code is Rawsec Tofu. That's RAWSSECT TOFU.
Ooh.
Is that like a vegan cult?
I think so. I think it's like the super vegans,
The ultra
Okay, like
vegans?
the ultra
Yeah.
vegans.
Like raw, like super raw, like literally like eating it straight from the.
They
like,
actually just
they
eat
pick
dirt.
the corn.
It's
and
just dirt. They don't even eat plants.
just
It's just
dirt.
dirt.
It's just the soy off the bean.
Exactly.
Let's see. I was
It's-
imagining you and you're like, just take the corn off and just right in the maw and just take
Yes.
the corn
Like cartoon
right
character.
in-
Oh,
Exactly.
Leaves and silt and all everything.
The whole
Yum.
thing.
nom nom.
It's just dirt. That's
Just
a tagline right
Just
there.
dirt.
Just pure sunlight.
Sunlight
They
and dirt.
photosynthesize.
I love this.
Is it my turn? I'm trying to remember how to do this.
Yes, it is.
Okay, good. Hi, everyone. I'm Lauren Urban. I'm the content manager over at Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. You can find out about any of the stuff I'm doing at lauren-urban.com. But tonight, I'm playing Faralos, the Tempest Cleric, who I'm sure is super happy about people bedazzling her hammer.
Hello. I am Jen Kretschmer. You can find me on the interwebs as at DreamWisp, streaming on Twitch as DreamWisp Jen, on Tuesdays on that Bronze Girls channel for some anti-capitalist shenanigans if we're in the black, on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Pacific, and then here today playing your friendly neighborhood Tsunami Druid. Reveal it.
It's me now. Hi, I'm Latia Jaquise. I am one of the community managers for D&D, but today I am playing Essequa Havenwright. I could feel my mouth wanting to spoonerism that so badly. Everyone's favorite. Is she everyone's favorite? I don't know.
Definitely
Everyone's. Yes, that's all that matters.
Absolutely
Everyone's
mine.
favorite blade singing wizard who just got a new spell book and is really excited to see there's nothing, all of her spells are in it. She's excited to add more stuff to it. That's all. Yay. Tim, say something.
Oh, it's me next.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Look, we know
I guess
how to
I'm
do
just
this.
I guess I'm just befuddled in general. That's entirely my fault. Hi, for some reason I thought somebody else was coming up. A fifth mysterious person. I'm Sumerian, Jeremiah Sumerian. You might know me from the SCP Wiki as a writer and various other YouTube endeavors. And I would like to thank our cartography, maps, music, and character tokens creators. Cartography by Shay and Peku. Cartography by Shay and Peku Sci-Fi. Maps by Luke Stratton. Maps by Eightfold Paper. Music by Tabletop Audio. And character tokens by Greek46. And I believe, unless I'm completely messed up, that we can get into it right now.
Mhm.
So let's do
Party.
the summary for the last session. Episode 4.
5
Hold on.
or last was
5.
4.
Episode
last was
4
4,
was
this is
this
5.
is summary for the last episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
We're
very
gonna
excited.
get this. We're
We take 1 week off. 1 week.
1 week. 1 week off.
Pandemonium!
All right, let's just here we go. Episode 4, Toads and Taverns. I am but mad northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from a
Talk
handsaw.
from a handsaw.
Hamlet, Act 2, Scene 2. The students board the other sailing ship and encounter Fro Lout, the acolyte's brother. He and a friend of the students, Charles Moriarty, organize the theft of the ship they're currently sailing, along with several of Charlie's other school friends. There is some back and forth about the wisdom of stealing the ship, but most of that is quelled when it is discovered that Captain Greg Grimtooth, the teacher lost at sea after the students were eaten by a kraken, has been rescued. The students filter below decks and begin discussing how much they trust their friends and Fro, which is an interesting phrase.
It is super interesting phrase.
They eventually settle on not much and resolve to keep the details of their island adventure vague. With that, the party goes back above deck, and after some goodbyes, they leave, but not without exchanging Abelina LeBlanc, who desperately wants to go home, and Elizabeth Windrucken, who desperately wants to see Frogtown. The students visit Frogtown one more time, saying some goodbyes and spending the night at the tavern. They're visited by Frog in a Wizard Hat, who has resolved to travel to the Mystic Mariners Academy along with the students in order to improve his magical skills. The students are thrilled at this idea, and in the morning, the students, Elizabeth, Reginald the Frog of Holding, and Frog in a Wizard Hat all board the newly named Lessons Learned and say goodbye to Frogtown. Upon arriving in Avalon, the students dock their boat and are confronted by the dockmaster, who asks for some information relating to their organization and purpose. After some back and forth, the students can't decide what to name anything, so the dockmaster, in frustration, writes down temporary business designation. The students go on their way through the portal and end up in the floating magical school far above the clouds. Unbeknownst to the characters, a collection of prophetic descriptors have appeared on their various magical items. It is 9:54 on Graves Day, the 10th of Dreams. The sun is still up and will be for a couple more months. And back on Mount Chicken Island, a frog in a tinfoil hat just turned his radio on to begin a broadcast.
Yeah, I did just hear frog in a tinfoil hat, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent.
Who's doing a radio show?
Of course.
I'm so here for it.
How many behatted frogs are there? And can we collect them all?
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
And this
yes.
also is we're setting up our Night Vale crossover here, right?
No.
Yes. Oh, wait. I don't know if you can see it on stream.
Oh, I
but
can. I can, but it's not. It's just
I don't
off.
think it'll show on screen. I have a glow cloud hanging from the ceiling behind me.
That is what that
Aw.
is. I've
is-
been wondering what that is that's
Oh.
flickering above you. I have my Night Vale community radio mug in the other room.
Nice.
And I have socks as well.
It's a
love-
goblin in a glowy hat.
It's a
I
Yes,
love
goblin in a
I
glowy
didn't know
hat.
if it was something like glittery that was just blocking your camera or what. It is a glow cloud. All hail.
All hail.
All right.
Sorry,
So
Sorry,
tangent.
Sam.
So this
We're
is
just
a
gonna
crossover
turn this
episode.
boat around and go back to Frogtown. That's
you
what I'm hearing.
guys, you guys are at the I stopped you at the door.
Yeah.
We're
You
about to
did.
go in.
do we
you
want to
don't-
go through? Do you want to read the inscriptions on our items again for?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
refreshing?
Let's refresh both you and the
Yeah.
audience. For sorry,
And just to be
Furlos,
clear, none of us have actually seen
Not
that
yet,
this has
no.
happened yet. Okay.
on the business end of your hammer, it says the patient storm, a thunderous, glorious horn, heart holding hidden hope. On the inside inside breastplate of Dominique's armor, the could have been queen who is not what she seems, but since she isn't, she is. Essequa on the back cover of your wizard spellbook, the steel in letters, knowledge unfettered, chasing, curious, questioning. And rivulet, lining your quarterstaff. The darkness dreaming of itself, sleeping, living a lie in the light.
And did you write these down somewhere for us? Do we have
They
these?
are in the notes on the Discord.
Oh,
They're in.
Discord,
They're in
okay.
lore from games.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
I also do just want to say that as soon as these prophetic descriptors were made known to us, I began a character playlist because what a title.
That's actually, yeah.
That's legit.
Yeah, each of you have essentially these are your titles: the Patient Storm, the Could Have Been Queen, the Steel in Letters, and the Darkness Dreaming.
Those are all so good.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Good.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Well,
All
let's
right.
see how long it takes for all of us to notice.
Mm-hmm.
Although the I gotta ask, because what I had always pictured was like one of those really just massive two-headed malls.
Yeah.
Do they have a? I
So
always thought
I'm
it was an
imagining
ambidextrous kind
they
of thing.
are.
Where
They are. And I'm sure you've hit people with both ends of it. But in my
absolutely.
mind, I just imagine you probably have a preferential side.
I think so.
If she's right-handed, then yeah, there's probably a side that always is going to come down.
You'd imagine,
first.
like I've whenever I've ever played around with weapons, I've always felt like there's a even with ambidex, like both double-sided things, there's a way you hold it that feels the right way for you. And yeah, it's the whichever end is towards the enemy generally for you.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, where are we going first?
I suppose
Well, first we
should
gotta go in.
check in with whoever was missing us, I suppose. And we should make arrangements to get the captain up here. Unless
that
he's
hasn't-
already here. He may
I-
already be here.
No, he's here already.
I would think that Charles probably brought him up here when they brought him back on the other ship.
Okay.
Because they got here first.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Actually, then, I think it makes sense. Or at least I would like to go check in on Grimtooth, if that's okay with all of you.
I think that makes sense.
Everybody else can wait. I'm curious to know if he is okay.
Let's go
I'm
check on our teacher.
Yeah.
Go check
I'm
on our
assuming the school
teacher.
has a med bay of some sort.
Does
We call that a
when-
nurse's office.
when you
I was
guys
going
enter-
sci-fi, but okay.
Infirmary.
Yeah,
Mm.
there you go.
put your tokens down. Starting
The
with
map.
you.
And then, yeah, we can kind of figure out from there what we need to do. There's a whole list of people I'm sure we have to talk to, and it's exhausting even to think about it.
Oh,
Indeed.
So, two things happen as you guys walk past the door. You hear what sounds like an almost automated voice that says, "Sentient magic item detected. Warning."
what?
And
Who?
then
Where?
you see
Reginald?
Right.
This is not a message we've ever heard before at school.
I would imagine you probably have heard people come in through the door and get that message. There is a automated system on the door to make sure that sentient magic items are properly identified, so they can't be influencing students, or in some cases not students, but still. And in front of you are 5 school staff and 3 people you do not recognize between you. Marlo Thornbridge is the school's let's see here. Is the school's headmaster.
Mm-hmm.
He is the imp in the center here. The beholder, for lack of a better way to put it, beholderkin to the top left. Kermos Koska is the vice headmaster. And then all 3 of the physical education teachers are here near the door. The fencing instructor, Maestro Lenora Duvall, the skullduggery professor, Felicity Blackwood, and Coach Marcus Ironsides. And as you guys enter, you see that they are in a bit of an argument with some people you don't recognize. The guy in the middle speaks up and says, "All right, listen. I don't care what the rules say. I don't care what the bylaws of your stupid little school say. I want our ships back.
This person that's talking,
Yes.
the
It's
center being.
the orc at the center of this.
Okay.
Any idea who he is? Have we heard of a notable
Make-
person?
Make a history check.
Oh, I should probably open my character sheet.
Couldn't
I
hurt.
think I'm making some assumptions on who these people might be.
It's only a 12.
What is my character's name?
I mean, you're all here. You can all make that history
That's
check
like
if you'd like.
History.
I'll give history a try.
But Dominic,
Oh!
yeah, you're not really sure.
That's a natural 20 for a
Think for
21.
us.
Nice.
Nice.
Fairless
That
is
was
making
for
some
sure.
very accurate assumptions.
Yeah. So you guys have already been when you were looking through Captain Collins' notes below decks, you found out that he owed money to a fella called Jerome Flynn, as you've read it. And Furloughs, that name didn't initially ring any bells because it seems like Captain Colin misspelled it. There is a Jeremy Flynn, who is the head of the Outlaw Obscura, the pirate organization whose ships both you and Charles Moriarty have stolen, and technically your brother stole as well. And he is a large, hulking orc of a man who is often accompanied by his gunslinger girlfriend and his best friend, who happens to be I really am off my game today. Hyena person. I don't remember the word
Knoll.
for
A
that.
null?
Knoll. Yes.
Okay. And so this is that Jeremy / Jerome Flynn?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Fairless isn't going to say anything, but she is going to move and just stand directly behind him,
Mhm.
holding the hammer. He's probably actually, if he's a fairly large orc, he's probably about the same size that I am, but there's still going to be the massive muscle now standing there.
Remember, you're 6'7"?
I wrote it down.
Hey, Goblin,
7
check
feet.
to chat.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, then you're actually taller than he is because he's only 6'7".
Oh.
Dominique is going to kind of walk over there. Actually, let me pull the map up real quick. 1 sec, Jen. She's just gonna kind of walk up and just kind of stand next to him and kind of turn and look at him. Belcha.
The lady to your left on this map is going to, as you start to walk up, close the distance a little bit and kind of push you out as you start to try and get up next to him.
Can I make a
and then
stealth check to get there without her noticing?
You could have some assistance from our good friend Snonky, who
Hey!
can just teleport you there.
I'm gonna say yes, but I will. Well, also, if you want to teleport, that's a whole different story. I'm gonna say because that does damage, right? Or do you get to choose?
I think I can choose. I think it's of my
Make
choice.
sure you
Let me
can
double
choose.
check. Because I think it's
And I'm getting that for you, Jen.
Stealth. You can try, but it'll be
otherwise I can locate Snonky so that the damage is
Sure. Yeah.
away.
Either way, if you're gonna try, depending on how you do this, stealth is going to be very difficult in this extremely closed space.
Okay.
And like she was back here originally slightly, so in
Okay.
order for you to walk up to him, you've got to pass by her,
Okay.
and it's not like there's any room for you to really hide. I mean, you could try and do it quickly. That would probably how I would consider a stealth check.
In that case, instead of that, she's just going to. 'Cause, I mean, I was kind of catty corner here. She's just going to reach up and tap his shoulder. Belcha.
What do you want?
So the teleportation is from the departure point, so you would just have to walk a little away and Snonky can
Right.
pop you over.
Got
Ah.
it. Okay.
I knew there was damage. I was in this small space. I was a little worried about that, but
Right. Well, you are blocking the entryway. And we were trying to sneak past, but it sounds like you have something very important going on.
You could say that, sure. I was just talking to your headmaster here. If you need to get by, get by.
That's very kind of you. I heard something about ships being stolen. I'm emotionally invested now. I'm very curious.
Meanwhile, Essica is just gonna squeeze on past. I'm just gonna squeeze on past. Excuse me, pardon me.
Hey, Goblin, send me one more on that.
Okay.
Please.
He's gonna just like look at you, Dominique, from your mentioning of the ship stealing. Give you a little bit of a squint, like he's trying to figure you out. All right. I know when I'm outnumbered, but I'll be back.
Just in case, could we get a description of these ships?
Sure. They're both sloops, and they both came with big pirate flags on top.
That would tend to give one the impression that they belong to pirates. And what is there a reward of any sort for them?
Yeah, the reward is we don't kill you.
That sounds more like an incentive and not a reward.
As soon as he says that, Marlowe is going to do something with his hands. He has a coffee in one of his hands that he's been drinking, but he is going to use his free hand. And he's actually going to toss the coffee off to the side, accidentally catching a little bit of Felicity with it. But he's going to toss the coffee off to the side, and he is going to start making motions with his hands. And you watch as the gunslinger to the left, the gnoll to the right, and the orc are enclosed in a sphere. Well, I can't accept threatening students inside the school. You're going to have to leave now.
Oh, how unfortunate for you.
Coach, could you roll them outside? Just double check Coach real quick.
If Coach needs help, I'm happy to help. Fairless is going to continue to stand there and block the way, but if now they're going to be undignifiedly rolled out, she wants to help.
That's funny.
The coach is definitely going to roll them out. So he's extremely strong, so he's going to roll them out on his own. Plus, I think that sphere is weightless under normal circumstances anyway, so he's just going to roll them outside.
Yeah.
Just
And
bubble.
yeah,
Bubble
it's
and roll.
just a bubble. Let me take these guys off the map.
We
Make
can't
them-
all come and go by bubble.
Yeah. All right, and let's put that off to the side. Sorry about that, Marlowe, your imp headmaster says. I really do apologize. That was sorry you had to see that.
Oh, it's fine. Any idea where their ships are?
Yeah, it's yours and Charles's.
Just making sure you were aware.
By the way, great job.
Thanks.
Yeah. Don't
I was-
steal from any of the merchants that dock here, by the way. But pirates, good job.
No, we have a sense of right and wrong. I was briefly concerned that we forgot to take the flags down, but clearly we did, because otherwise he would have been like, hey, wait a second. And then we would have had a bigger deal to deal with.
But what's interesting is the fact that how did they know they were here? The scrying sigils were removed.
Yeah, but when were they removed is the thing. Like,
Long before we got here, when we first recovered our ship, and then when the second ship found us.
Right. But you got rid of that scrying sigil after they had already sailed and had been sailing, so they kind of had an idea of where that ship went before it kind of like but before it like disappeared from being able to be scryed on. So if they knew that their crew wasn't on it, then they knew that somebody had taken it.
Sure, but how did they know to come to the school?
They saw it was full of students.
How?
Probably just by watching it leave.
That would have told them one ship, perhaps, but how would they know that the ship went to the island and then came back here? I could understand if they knew it was by the island, but coming back here is a bit odd.
Hey, Sam, question. Is pirate ship theft by students a common thing at this school?
No. In fact, the last time it's happened was about, I want to say 15 years ago.
Heck
Oh,
yeah.
It's a legend that's told, sort of thing. Like, I can't believe that actually happened, sort of deal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, what was the legend?
Just that 15 years ago, a collection of students stormed the docks and stole, I think it was 3 pirate ships.
Oh.
And took them out and actually formed their own little pirate union for a little while.
Well, I was about to ask why are our teachers hanging out with the outlaw obscura? Doesn't that seem?
I don't think that's what it
Doesn't
was.
it seem strange? Well,
Are we standing in front of our professors?
You are.
well, yes, I'm happy to ask them directly. It seems a bit strange to me that they would be inviting in leaders of a pirate group.
Well, the
to a
thing
school.
is, yes, they didn't get past the foyer because they're, too uncouth, I suppose. But the important part is we have to have discussions with them. I mean, they do have 150 ships under their belt. If they were to decide to attack Finland itself, they could probably take it. So if they decide they want to come and have a peaceful discussion, they absolutely can, as long as they stay in the foyer. Dominique, because you were having a little bit of a struggle with understanding the sequence of events there. If you would like to make a history check, no, not history check. Yeah, it is, because you're remembering the sequence of events properly. It's going to be a very low DC of an 8.
Okay. Let's see. There we go. History?
Yes.
That's an 11.
So what you're remembering that when your ships came together,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't immediately get rid of the scrying sigil.
It was
It was very quick, but you didn't immediately get rid of it.
right. But my concern is that it was gone before they set sail to come back
Sure,
to the
sure.
school.
And
And ours was gone long before
the
that.
way the sigil worked, and we described this when you marred the first one,
Mhm.
is that it allows them to scry on the ship, which allows them to hear everything anyone is saying and
Okay.
see the people on it, which means it's not too hard of a leap to consider the fact that if they saw everybody on the ship and heard them talking, someone mentioned that they were students at the school, or that they were coming from a Valen, and all these other things. Someone mentioned that they were students. All that
I mean-
information is pretty reasonable for them to have discovered through the scry.
Mhm.
I mean, honestly, the very first thing that happened was I yelled at my brother that he was supposed to wait at the school. So if they were only scrying for the first 5 seconds of our boarding, they'd have a pretty good idea where to go look.
I suppose.
And since you guys took an extra day to get here, they'd be here. At this point, Coach Marcus is going to come back inside.
So I assume that means that you are all aware of most of what was going on, or have you been debriefed at all?
Your friend Charles explained most of the situation to us, though he failed to mention that you'd be bringing frogs with you.
That was a decision that was made after we left Charles.
Interesting.
This is Frog in a Wizard Hat. And this is Reginald. Frog in the Wizard Hat is actually interested about the possibility of joining us as students in the school.
Really quickly, just to make sure that we're careful about things. Someone on your person is carrying a sentient magic item. It's just important that we identify which one it is and make sure that it's not having an untoward influence on anyone.
I look at Reginald.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
kind of glance and point. He has a curse of sorts put on him. Could that perhaps...
Is
Ah.
being a frog of holding a curse?
That's what he said, that he was cursed and
He
needs...
says he's cursed.
Well, let's see what we can do. Hold on. Well, let's see what we can do about that. And Kermis Koska walks up and points 2 fingers at Reginald, and a beam of energy pops out. Oop. And that beam of energy impacts Reginald, who stays a frog, but immediately next to him, like he's been split off from it, a bag of holding plops onto the ground.
What?
I mean, I stand by my statement. I was not wrong.
I pick up Reginald. You feel alright?
Right. Ribbit.
Sure.
Yeah, I feel different.
Well, you...
Can
I don't
pick
think
up-
you should try swallowing anything too large anymore.
Yeah, can I pick up the bag of holding?
Yeah.
Reach into it and think of a kraken quill.
Sure. And a kraken quill is what you find.
Oh yeah, this was what I mean, I just confirming this is the thing. That Reginald was? Reginald, are you just a frog now?
He can still speak.
Right, but now he's not.
Hi.
He is, I think, still himself. He's just not able to swallow large amounts of blossom
Stuff?
and jetsam.
I mean, if you want to chipmunk cheek things and be a frog of holding, that's a lovely thing to be. You just keep them in your cheeks
But I have to-
for winter. But if you also want to not be a frog of holding and just be a frog,
Froganold?
froganold, frog.
Well,
I have
it
to
might make
imagine-
things easier on myself. I would have appreciated if you'd asked first, but
Yeah, is this gonna mess with your sense of identity at all?
I hadn't thought about that until you said something.
I'm sorry.
Well, if it helps, you can still carry the bag of holding, and thus
Well, of course,
you are
it's
still
mine,
a
yes.
frog with a bag of holding.
And he sort of like holds it close to himself with his left
okay.
arm.
You are still technically a frog of holding.
Frogina.
You're just a frog. You're a frog of holding.
Also, I was going to say,
you're a holding frog of holding.
you're holding. That's what you did say. You were trying to pick it up, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to try and take it from him?
Oh no. I didn't realize that he was still holding it in the separation. I thought that it had been like
It did lay on the ground, but like what I'm saying is he's going to want to try and hold
Oh
it
no,
up to
I'll give
himself.
it back.
Okay.
You were just double checking that it was the same.
That it was
bag
the
of
same
holding.
bag. Yeah, no, if
Yeah.
if he tries to take it from me, then I will give it. It is like is this gonna like I'm concerned that he is gonna lose some sense of identity not having this be a part of him. So if he wants it,
Hard
he
to
can have
tell, but he's holding it like a safety blanket almost. Like,
it back.
Dominique just sets him back up on her shoulder. It's fine.
Hey, headmaster, can you make it like smaller so that it actually like fits him?
I don't think so. A bag of holding is a bag of holding. It is what it is.
Okay,
But
I just wanted to ask.
It is about, I mean, for him, it's about the size of a decent, oh, he could wear it actually. It's currently about the size of what would be a good blanket for him. So he's got it wrapped around himself at this point. He's just kind of holding it.
Maybe we can fashion it into like a backpack that you can wear, and it'll be like a backpack of holding. That way you can it can like rest on your back.
I like that as an idea. Yes. Yes.
I hate to interrupt all this, but you said the headmaster.
Mm-hmm.
Headmaster, if you have a moment, we actually need to speak with you about something we encountered on our lesson.
Of course, not a problem. One moment. You dealt with the pirates, yes? He turns
we
over to
did.
Coach, or turns to Coach, and says that, and he goes, yes, I shoved them off of the edge.
I was gonna ask because the sphere shouldn't be able to take damage, and I really wanted to thank you for answering that question for me because that's what I wanted you to do. I'm really happy that my hypothesis is correct.
Yes. Well, I hope they have Featherfall.
Oh dear.
Well, it seems like it would be bad planning to come to a place like this and not
Really
have some
would.
exit strategy. So
Mhm.
if they do not, then that is completely their fault, and hopefully they will land over the water.
Well,
Maybe
no, that would be worse.
No, it'll be better
Well-
because then we wouldn't have to clean it up.
That's fair. That's fair.
But also, if they're in the sphere and the sphere, this is a science problem for later.
Well, if you'd like, I could ask the physics professor to maybe come up with a couple of hypotheticals for the next class.
Sure.
Excellent.
Also, I don't think I know feather.
That might be
being
one worth learning.
Yeah.
That being said, I think Dominique makes a very good point that we do need to discuss a few things that we have discovered on our trip.
So we'll take you over to the headmaster's office. Give me 1 second.
We're moving. Ooh.
NPCs, school staff. And he is going to bring in an additional person. Unless you guys like heavily object, he's going to sort of insist on it.
No, that's fine.
He's the headmaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because as you're walking, he's like, I've heard a little bit about what you went through, just a little bit, from Abelina. And as I was speaking with her, she needed a little bit of, well, assistance of a particular sort that I'm not very good at providing. So I decided to bring in our friend Amelia. And you all know Amelia as a fairly large, okay. This is Amelia. She is a fairly large goose.
The most fearsome of creatures.
Yes,
But,
Amelia from the pond. Yes.
She, for a goose, she would be large. She is technically an Aarakocra, but of a goose base, with a pair of glasses with the little chains that come down. And she is going to, she is the school's counselor. And she is going to sit in on the meeting and listen. And she, let me just grab her real quick. Right. Ah, yes. Well, I'm going to be back here. I'm not going to necessarily participate in the conversation, but if you need to talk about the troubles that you went through, I'll be available after the meeting. And also, I'd like to listen and see if there's anything that sticks out as necessarily needing a little bit of discussion.
May I just, as a default sort of wake up, brush my teeth, put on mage armor kind of thing, be looking to see if anyone is behaving differently than they did before we left, or showing a different kind of interest in our activities, things, just anything out of the ordinary in terms of how people are treating us and
Make an insight check.
Sure.
Dominique
This
is...
is-
going to wander over to the bookcase and shelf there and
May I
just
make
kind of stare at them while people are talking.
Yeah. What were you about
Oh,
to
I was
ask?
gonna say, may I make a case for investigation on all of this?
You're asking about people. I feel like
Right, but my investigation is people-based now.
that is true. Actually, we'll talk more about that specifically later with both
Later.
insight and investigation, because that
So
was something
insight
I
it
hadn't
is.
considered. But no, go ahead and do your investigation.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk about.
So
We'll talk about.
ignore the insight that's about to roll, and then we'll
Yeah,
do this. Investigation.
because I hadn't considered that, but I think insight is another.
And I don't need to actively be doing this all the time. If you want to use my passive on this, I'm happy to just be
Sure.
Just as a sort of awareness thing. Oh,
Yeah.
that'll work. That's a dirty 20.
Okay. When you guys left, so the four of you guys are the highest ranked, both academically and achievement based in the school. You guys are jockeying. I mean, I don't know how competitive you guys are, but you guys have been moving up and down in the top 4. So you've always been
I think
like
it's Essequa and then the rest of us, sort of
Possibly,
just moving up and down.
some of it is
ranking-wise.
that's the thing, because some of it's academic, but some of it's not academic necessarily.
I still think
yeah.
still think it's probably
Essequa
Essequa
still
and the
like
rest of us.
valedictorian.
Here's the
Um,
thing: Essequa's competitive without like realizing it. She's just like gotta be the. It's unintentional. So like if she comes up valedictorian, it's obvious to her, but also how did this happen?
It's Essequa who's trying to do better than her previous work all the time.
Yeah.
Like
Essequa only
I'm just
has
trying to beat my own
Essequa.
record, and
Yep.
yet Essequa's record is like way ahead of everybody else's record. for
So
that
from
very
that,
reason.
you guys are kind of used to the idea of being like sort of each one of you is some teacher's pet in this school, to some degree. So you've already got their interest to that level. But Marlo, from that dirty 20, Marlo is very proud of you.
Heck,
Okay.
Right.
And what is
So-
Marlo? What is Marlo's role? I know Marlo was the imp, right?
the headmaster.
He is the headmaster.
Oh, Marlo is the headmaster. I'm sorry.
Oh, surrogate dad is proud of us. Oh no. There goes my heart. Okay.
Yeah, Marlo is the imp,
Oh, Marlo.
who
Yes. Sorry.
always is carrying around a cup of coffee. Even when he threw that out and started doing his magic, once he was finished, another cup of coffee materialized in his hand.
He knows the spell create breakfast and coffee and is just has it
Yes.
prepared all the time. Yeah.
He's
Mad
a follower
respect.
of Horse Lips, the coffee god.
So you wanted to have a conversation. I assume there are details that you maybe felt unsure of sharing with your friends. I will say, Abelina was not a hard nut to crack.
We didn't think so.
Just above board to my fellow players here. How much, as far as Fairless is concerned, she's happy to just list off everything that happened, with the potential of not mentioning Rivulet's blip, mostly because that feels like that's for Rivulet to talk about. Is there is everybody
think-
okay with that? Because then
Yeah.
I'm perfectly fine with Fairless just bullet points the whole thing.
Oh.
Dominique, as Farlos is talking, takes a book off the shelf and just kind of casually flips through it.
And then Essequa fills in parts where Fairlos might not have gotten it completely accurate, or like small, minute details that don't make much difference in the grander scheme of things. But yeah, I think we're pretty much in agreement with the way you choose to reveal things.
This is really more of a Rivulet question than anyone else. Do you detail the little dream sequence you had?
Not yet. I am waiting to talk to my advisor about that, who knows
Understandable.
more about universes and multiverses and realities and things like that.
Absolutely. So you guys go through it and leave that bit out because the other characters do know a little bit about it, so they would be leaving that part out. Interesting. Huh. I didn't know that there were surviving reactors. Fair enough.
You seem fairly nonchalant about something that I would think would be rather disturbing big deal.
Well, I've been around for a very, very long time. And I've definitely encountered these reactors before on my own adventures. But none of them were functional.
Well, that was one of the main reasons we felt it was necessary to let you and some of the other professors here know first. I don't think we're going to be able to keep all this information completely under wraps, but considering the ramifications for the entire world might be at stake, thought it was best to be cautious about who we told first. Last thing I think we want is a bunch of pirates deciding they're going to muck around with what might be the only thing keeping this planet alive.
That is a fair point. Honestly, I think it'll probably be all right. And if it's not, well, we'll always just go to a different plane of existence. Wait, no, you can't all do that. So the thing is, we will. I'm
Have
not.
you done that before?
No.
Insight check.
All right, roll insight. Although it's
Do
an
we even need an
extreme-
insight on
I
that?
don't
to
think we
say.
need
I'm about to
one.
say.
Your
I'm
DC
gonna-
is lit. It's one of those insight checks where your DC is 2.
Yeah.
Just don't roll a 1.
My
DC.
modifier is 2.
Well, yeah, but a 1 would auto fail. So that's
I
the
know.
other- yeah. He's definitely abandoned entire realities before, sure.
Fascinating.
Yikes. That's who you want in charge of children?
I mean,
I
for
mean,
all
you
we
could get
know,
the
it
children
wasn't
out.
his fault.
Adolescents.
Yeah, the choice to abandon may have been his, but the inciting action that led to the choice to abandon may not have been
True.
his fault.
True.
Yeah.
Valid.
Still, good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you think the school can do to help protect that place?
Valen and the school are not exactly resource rich. We're a trading port, and that's it. The governor, we have the governor. The governor is willing to work with us on a lot of things, and of course, we were able to dictate the way the docks were. The dock bylaws were created when the first ship started to dock, but that was 200 years ago, and they respect it mostly, but they might not continue to. I can't say with certainty that we or the city beneath us have the resources to handle such a big problem. We have connections elsewhere, but it's going to take a bit before I know for sure who could be trusted with such information.
That makes sense.
In the meantime, I could certainly send some. We could certainly send some researchers from both our own school and from partnered schools. I know of one in the Loam, and also one of our main partnerships is with the Königselfeld Technical Institute. And they are affiliated with the government of the Wherein Union, which would certainly have the resources to deal with such a problem. And in fact, the Wherein Union has pretty good laws with regards to how ancient, dangerous technologies are actually. Yes, I think the Technical Institute is the way to go.
It is what it is. I'll be guided on you on this. I felt like it was our duty to let people who had more resources than us know about a potentially world-shaking event, but at this point, it's yours to deal with, honestly. I don't know what to do at this point.
This is going to complicate things considerably. I don't know
Oh,
how.
yes.
So, okay. You guys all 4 of you who are listening on this. I don't know about Dominic. You are kind of look like you might be a little distracted.
No, she's listening. She's just
Okay, cool.
appearing distracted.
All of you make history checks.
7.
14.
17.
Right.
Oh,
Sorry, I rolled twice.
That's gotta.
The first
sorry
one's
about
the one that
that.
counts.
So we got.
No, it's fine.
17. Yeah, 17. Is the highest here. Latia,
mm-hmm.
your knowledge of current world events is kind of tweaked by the mention of the Hivern Union, because they seem like there's going to be a war very soon between them and the Dwarven Mountain Homes. And the Hivern Union has a presence out here in the Sundappled Isles, but not a big one. Whilst Porthy Balin Shipping and Freight, which is a megacorp out of one of the Dwarven Mountain Homes, has been all over the Sundappled Isles. They are everywhere. They are the East India Company or West India Company of this setting.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all over. So when he talks about the possibility of introducing like a major Hivern Union presence to this area, that could really, really ratchet up conflict if the war actually ends up getting declared soon.
Okay. And what was the name of the trading company that you mentioned?
I will put this down in a chat for you, but
Cool,
it's
thanks.
It's
Thank you.
Porth dash Y dash Balin, Belan. Shipping and freight.
I'm sorry, this is completely off topic. Did they do the train heist?
No.
Okay, sorry.
That's from the home game. That was a question.
I had to miss the home game last night, and we're supposed to do a train heist, so I wanted to make sure we hadn't done it.
Aw.
Headmaster, quick question. You say this is going to complicate things a bit. That wouldn't happen to have anything to do with the fact that the folks from the Dwarven Mountains are all over this place, and
Yeah, taking a side is never great when you're trying to be neutral, but what you're describing is not the kind of thing I'd like the dwarves to have in their control.
yeah. Okay, so then why not talk to Alan's Reach and the Loam then?
The problem with that is that the Kingdom of Kalich is about to, I mean, they're not reliable. There are a bunch of independent city-states that are united. They're not united strong enough to deal with something like this. They would probably fight over it themselves more than they would want to, like, unite to protect it.
Yeah, you see, Essex kind of frowns when he mentions how they're not really united in that front.
What about getting a hold of Brescia and seeing if maybe they would be willing to keep a patrol around the island, given the fact that it could overheat the undersea or freeze the undersea? They may be willing to participate.
Or why not invite researchers from both the Dwarven Mountain Homes and Hivern?
The dwarves like to own things.
Well, that's tough for them in this
Yes.
case, if that's the situation.
Right.
They could own a bunch of research about it.
Now, the problem is, if they get in there, they can set up shop and defend it. It is a highly defendable position. Very difficult to hit
But if
with
a
an
team
offense.
is sent together, comprised of both factions,
You don't think they would murder each other for access to something like this?
Not with Talon's Reach to mediate.
have you met scientists? The pursuit of knowledge is more enticing.
I think you're right, Rivulette. I think that's a good idea, and maybe also bringing in people from Brescia as well. Maybe we make it a true multicultural scientific endeavor, and hopefully there's sense of exploration and discovery will be enough to keep them from murdering each other and trying to take it for themselves. I mean,
And if not that, then maybe self-preservation.
well, the
Well,
thing
and
is,
if for some reason one group decides that they can't work with the others, then they clearly are the ones in the wrong because they have decided that they can't participate.
And so how do you kick them out once they're already in? Because they're not going to announce they're leaving or they're giving up their claim until...
if I could no, that's the wrong voice for that. I've completely lost the goose's voice. That's fine. If I could, I'm just gonna do my normal voice. If I could interject for a moment, I think it might be sort of the best solution, because no matter what your what ifs are, there's going to be conflict. Like, if we say to just the people we trust the most, come here, protect this thing, there's going to be conflict. If we get everyone together and they decide for there to be conflict, there's going to be conflict. None of the solutions prevent conflict. I mean, in the worst case scenario, none of the solutions prevent conflict. So I think having everyone in the same place is probably going to be the best possible chance of preventing conflict.
Agreed.
Can we make them sign a thing that says that they agree to behave, and then if they don't agree, I mean, and if they break this contract, then it's like, well, you said you wouldn't.
I don't know very much about now I got the voice right back. It took me a second. I don't know very much about contracts, but maybe.
Is there
this is-
not a legal professor here?
They're very, and Marlo's going to speak up. There very much is a legal professor here. Although I will say that while the dwarven corporations very much enforce contracts, they're not very well known for respecting them if they find a better option elsewise. Especially if they can use the threat of force to get more favorable contract terms, even for contracts they've already signed. So,
Well, another reason to have everybody involved so that no one feels like they've got the overwhelming force. And at this point, I feel like get everybody in the room and make them talk is probably the best bet. This is in everybody's best interest to keep this place safe. After that, what research they want to do is up to them, and I'd say they're God, but that's a whole other discussion that I don't really want to have. So, at least that's the beginning of a plan.
I think I agree with you, and this is actually very useful, and I'm going to defer a little bit to your own judgment on this, and consider it strongly in some of your let's say extra credit for your diplomacy classes later this year. But I think you are correct as a group. I think that bringing as many people together as possible. First of all, we're going to claim it for ourselves. Then we're going to invite other scientists from various other locations to come and investigate it alongside us. I think that is the best option. And hopefully
I was gonna say, we are kind of forgetting that we have Bigger Frog on our side in this, who can kind of wreak a little bit of like healthy havoc if things start going sideways.
Right, I saw that. That was the sorcerer that you brought in with you, the large frog.
No. That's Frog in a wizard hat. Bigger Frog is a much bigger frog.
Much bigger.
The leader of Frogtown is the entire island.
Half the island.
Yes. Wait, sorry. So, Frog in a wizard hat is the sorcerer.
Sorcerer?
And then you have a big frog and a bigger frog.
Yes, Big Frog is the mayor of Frogtown, and Bigger Frog is her father, who is also half of the island that they rest upon.
Right. But Frog in a wizard hat is also a large frog.
Yes, these two frogs, however, are, as mentioned, much larger.
Okay.
It's a name versus a descriptor. Well, it is also a descriptor, but in this case,
Frog in a wizard hat is large for a frog. That is fair and true.
These
Un-
were all self-appointed names mostly, so we're just going along with the naming conventions at this point.
Understandable. All right.
The
All right.
eponymous Big Frog and Bigger Frog.
We know Bigger Frog's name though, right? We know.
Bagger
Yes,
Frock.
Bagger Frock and his daughter
Yeah,
Meg
yeah.
Frock.
Correct.
Yeah. The Meg and Bagga are probably how we should be referring to them.
Oh, wait a minute. Bagger Frock?
Yes.
Oh, didn't know he was still alive. Okay.
You
That
know
should be
this
interesting.
This
person?
no longer surprises me.
Yes. No.
Maybe.
Headmaster. Headmaster, you said I didn't know he was still alive. That implies some sort of history in which you knew he was alive at one point and thought he might not be, which means that you know him.
All
Or at
right.
least have knowledge of him. Come on, Headmaster.
That's that's actually not that clever. So I can't give you extra points for that, but good catch.
Do you know each other in a friendly capacity?
I knew him a long time ago. You said he's the entire island now?
Half of it.
That's
And the neighboring
wild.
island, not the one that the
That's
radiated.
wild. He was much smaller then.
But
Although he was always a big frog.
but you knew each other on good terms.
To some degree. When I first set up this school, I, of course, went around to the various neighboring locations and got familiarized myself with their inhabitants. And I remember going to Mount Chicken Island. It's the nearest island to here. And I met Bagger Frock, and I really thought he would have been dead by now. That was quite some time ago.
Yeah, well, promises
is-
make you do weird things, like live a long time.
He's definitely settled in for the long haul.
Hmm.
It's true.
I can't believe that I should have investigated that island more. I didn't realize they had a working reactor.
Well, remember, it's not Mount Chicken Island, it's the next island.
That's possible, too.
I
Yeah.
don't know what the name of that island is. I don't think we asked.
Well, we always just considered the whole thing Mount Chicken Island.
Oh,
The
okay.
Chicken Island chain.
It's.
The Mount Chicken Archipelago.
Mount Chicken Island.
I'm guessing
I was-
from.
I was
I'm
thinking of
guessing
a
from the
fast
way
food
you've
joint.
described it. I'm guessing from the way you've described it. It's probably there is an island and then this other frog. I thought it was just growing from volcanic activity. So that's
Oh, maybe the half of Mount Chicken Island. There is Bagger, who is one half of Mount Chicken Island, and then there is the other half of the island, which contains the nuclear reactor. We didn't really think to ask about clarifications.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, anyway. Rivulet.
Yes.
I don't want. You don't have to, but from the sound of the way your fight with, have you ever? None of you have been in true. Well, except for you, Furloughs. But none of you, I believe, have been in like true combat before, nor knocked someone out, and nearly killed them. Would you perhaps like to speak with Amelia after this and work your way through any issues?
Well, I appreciate that offer, and in this case, it was a self-defense, and I feel good about my decisions.
Understandable. And are all of you all right? I mean, that was a lot of, as you described it, quite a lot of dead bodies on the beach. If you need any, Amelia is here for you in any case. So if you're not, I understand. But if you need someone to speak to, Amelia is available at all times.
I appreciate that.
Oh, that's
We
worse.
love having therapists at school.
Yes. We are here for both medical and psychological clerics. Both clerics. Yes.
So, if that's all, would you like to go see Captain Grimtooth?
Yes, that would be the next place I would want to go. Check in on the captain.
He is currently awake. So, this is a lot of I've got a lot of work ahead of me, and I appreciate that you've given me a bunch of work. But it's important work, so we will get it sorted away. And okay. Well, this is going to be a whole
Does the
thing.
headmaster have a reputation for being lackadaisical?
Yeah.
Does he have a reputation for also at least delegating responsibility?
Sometimes, if he doesn't think well, I mean, like literally in this moment, he's not capable of dealing with your emotional baggages if necessary. So he's literally brought in someone to do that for him. But yeah, if he doesn't think he's capable of doing a thing, he'll bring in somebody else to help him with it. But he is very much a trickster archetype.
Mm.
To some degree, he will always, even in just casual conversations, every once in a while, he'll try and get you with something.
I think I like him.
Fair.
I think I tolerate him.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to wait and see with this one.
Yeah.
That's pretty fair too.
I think it may change day to day how I feel about him.
Yeah. Like I think we all tolerate him. I think we think he's a good I think he's a good headmaster, but he makes decisions that make me kind of like scratch my head sometimes.
For sure true. I don't really have a nurse's office for the school, so what I'm gonna do is take you to one of the dorm rooms, which I think will be the better option.
While you're doing that, as we walk out and as we're heading down to the infirmary, I'll walk next to Dominique and just kind of walk next to her.
That's fair. Y'all want to have a conversation?
She just kind of looks up at Furloughs.
You are quite quiet in there.
Just listening.
You're very good at that, but you're usually better at talking.
Yeah, it was all taken care of. I didn't have to. Sometimes I like just sitting back and listening to all of you.
No, I don't like listening to me that much, so the next time I'll just give you a poke, okay?
It's fine. We should probably prepare ourselves for the captain to be a bit not himself. Hopefully he has recovered fully, but given what he went through.
Well, let's assume nothing until we see him. I have pretty high hopes. He's a strong individual.
We're going to do two things. First of all, as you guys walk in, you see Grimtooth is laying on one of the beds, being treated by the school doctor, Uriella Stone, a Gordon.
That's an interesting choice for a doctor.
Yeah, how does that work?
She doesn't need painkillers.
And
That's just an amazing name choice for a name.
I
Like,
know, right?
how on brand.
Yeah.
And also, it's a little early, but I think now would be a good time for our break.
Okay.
We're going between two
yeah.
scenes.
Yeah.
Geez, I didn't even realize what time it was. Oh.
Look, we have such a good time with this game.
Mm-hmm.
What time are we coming back?
Let's call it 20 till.
Okay.
Ooh.
We will see y'all in a bit.
Throw on your armor and head out on a quest, hey, hey. It's a brand new day.
This is Players and Book. Let's re-credit all of our maps and music and tokens, peoples. Cartography by Shane Peku, cartography by Shane Peku Sci-Fi, maps by Luke Stratton, maps by Eightfold Paper, music by Tabletop Audio, and character tokens by Greek 46. Goblin K, do you want to redo the
All right, everybody. We want to send a special shout out thank you to Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realm because they have given us a code that will get you a free Electrum chest. This week's code is raw sacked tofu, and that is apparently the height of veganism. So
I need to go
yeah.
get some Chinese food now. Every time you mention tofu, and I just
Sounds
picture
so
like
good.
so many of the really good Chinese tofu dishes. And I'm not usually a tofu person, but I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry, we jump scared you, Desk SCP. We'll see if we can't get like some sort of audio cue that we're coming back.
It's just gonna be us going boo. So be prepared.
Yeah.
But in that very, very calm boo.
Boo.
so
That's how
It
we're
suddenly
waking up
becomes
Captain.
ASMR horror.
as we
Boo.
return, the
Oh,
students.
can I make one quick other
Go ahead.
plug before we I forgot to say in the beginning, if you are a patron for Humblewood, I wrote on the setting that got released this week in the Patreon playtest for Humblewood. It's new stuff.
Nice.
Humblewood is awesome, and you should totally try it if you
There's
haven't
some
already.
You should do it. Do the
Fun.
thing.
Fun animal setting, world
Yeah.
things happening.
Yay!
In the room you guys have entered, there are a number of beds. There is the school doctor, Uriela Stone. There's also a rabbit folk kind of curled up on one of the beds. Seems like she might be taking a nap. And of course, Captain Grug Grimtooth is in the bed at the top of this room.
I go
And
sit on the bed next to the captain.
Fair enough.
And he's awake or not?
He has his eyes closed currently. He
I'll-
was. You were told he has woken up, but
Okay.
he is currently not awake.
Yeah, then if I'm unsure if he's asleep or not, I think I'll just kind of walk in and stop and then look at Uriel and just wait for the doctor to like give us the rundown.
Is he awake?
He is. He's sort of awake. He's currently resting a little bit. Hey, Grimtooth, you got some of your students here. And Grimtooth like opens up one eye.
Hello,
All
Captain.
right.
Or Professor, I suppose, now that we're back on land.
Well, hi.
How are you
That went-
feeling?
You know, I'm feeling a lot better these days.
Yes.
But I just wanted to say I apologize for not taking better care of y'all.
I don't think you could have accurately predicted a Kraken when he does.
Yes, how
No one
dare
predicts a
you not
Kraken.
how dare you not be able to fight off an entire sea monster?
You, we lost track of you after we were swallowed by the Kraken. What happened? What do you remember?
Well, I was floating around on a piece of the ship for quite some time. And then I don't know how much longer later it was, but another ship came by. They dragged me up, and next thing I remembered, I was here.
That was some of the fellow students who were coming to try to help us. So they were able to find you first, which is good. It's good to see that you are awake and alive. We were very worried.
Well, yeah. I'm glad y'all are okay. I heard you stole a pirate ship.
Is his speech always this kind of slow and broken?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, not. I mean, he's definitely showing signs of tiredness in
Okay.
his speech. He is all naturally a slow speaker, though. Yes.
Yeah, we
Yes.
managed to get out of it.
Stole is a term. We acquired it after the previous occupants were no longer interested in living.
Well, I mean, if you want the automatic pass, you need to have stolen a pirate ship. So I'm gonna classify it as that.
I'm not going to argue with that.
Right.
Do you
Wait,
remember?
theft was part of our grade?
No, it's always been an assumption. I
Oh,
assume
okay.
because of the whole like legend thing.
Yeah, if you steal a pirate ship, you get an automatic pass for your sailing classes for the rest of your school year.
Excellent.
Last time that happened, I stole one of them.
I knew it. I knew it was you.
I'm
Was it
gonna.
was it on purpose or did you just find the opportunity and took it?
Yes.
Maybe when you're better, we can heal the whole story. We can trade stories of stealing pirate ships. You can even talk to Charles and find out about how he and my brother stole another one.
I heard about that. Is your brother a good sailor?
He's okay. He's a little more interested in getting places than being in charge of making it happen, but he is helpful to have on a deck.
Fair enough. We'll talk more when I'm feeling better. But I can tell you what I did once we stole our 3 ships and sort of formed our own little organization.
All right.
But I'm a little tired right now.
Well, you owe us a story.
Hmm.
But for now, why don't you rest and recover? When you're better, we can speak further on these things.
Sounds good to me.
I look forward to swapping stories. Yeah, and then I'll back out of here nice and quiet. I guess when we get onto the hallway or something, just kind of look at my friends and go, well, now what?
Something isn't
I
sitting
mean,
right.
I have a research list to
That's
start working
fair.
on.
Yeah.
Again, these are sort of, I would say, semi-passive things. Like, I don't need to be taking up time from game to really hardcore work on this stuff. But
Well, currently, you guys have basically achieved what you needed to do for the day. Your time is free. So if there is something you specifically wanted to do out of that list, maybe we could cover that a little bit.
sure.
Because otherwise, I was just going to move you guys to like not montage, but like montage, like sort of like you've got some free a few days before anything happens, and you go to classes, and this is that and the other thing. But
I'm gonna just throw it in our chat what I have on my list if I can
Sure.
get my computer to respond to me.
Cool.
That'd be great.
Good
While
morning,
you're doing
computer.
that, I'll look over at Dominique. You're still concerned.
I don't know what it is. I just have a bad feeling.
I mean, I have a very bad feeling about a lot of the stuff that we just encountered, but I feel like at this point we have done what we set out to do, and I mean, if you can think of something else we're supposed to do at this point, I'm all ears.
Well, we do need to go down and give them a trading company name.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Uh,
Oh, yeah, the ship.
I mean, we could just tell them TBD. To be decided?
Well, it currently is called TBD.
Or a
It's-
placeholder?
I don't think that we should go back there until we have a definite name because he's just going to get more mad
Absolutely.
at us.
Mm-hmm.
And if we go down there and we tell him that it's still TBD, he's going to be like, is that to be decided? Or is your name TBD? And then we will continue to have discussions in front of him and he'll just walk away.
Yeah, you guys put
That's
down, or not you guys. He put down temporary business designation when you
Nice.
first came in and couldn't decide. Fun. But from looking at your list of how to make a radiation potion, I think. Oh,
yeah.
you know what? Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, you said you wanted to speak with your
I want to speak with my advisor
your advisor. Yeah.
at some point as well.
Do you want to do
Us.
that without us? I'm totally okay with that. I'm
Y-
just
Yeah, that probably will be because I have a feeling it's going to be this very high order philosophical, like that's my advanced coursework
Yeah.
kind of stuff, which
yeah.
probably would be boring for most of you. So,
Fine by me.
Well, it's less
but
about
I mean, you're welcome to come with me on it. It's not a you're not welcome, but you also may not have. Yeah, come with. Changing my mind. Feel free. I will make it an. If you would like to be there, you are more than welcome. But I am going to go speak with Dr. Whitaker and see what I can discover.
I actually wanted to talk to Professor Evergreen about something really quickly, but I can catch up.
Yeah, we'll do this in order because each of you guys are going to maybe want to go speak to your very specific faculty advisors because each of you has one in your senior year.
Hmm.
So we will start with, and I don't, Fairless, I don't think I've settled on yours yet. So we'll talk when that time comes.
I was about to say, I don't know if I got one, or I have not made that note. I'll say real quick for Rivulet, what Fairlos will say is, I don't want to intrude, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm curious about what went on, but I want to respect your time in telling people about that. So you go talk to your advisor, and when you're ready to tell the rest of us, I'm happy to listen.
I think I would like
It's
to
a
follow.
it's a coat rack in a wizard hat.
It is a coat rack and a wizard hat, isn't it? Oh man. You guys can put yourselves on the map if you wanted to accompany Rivulet, as Rivulet said that it was all right for you guys to come along. But otherwise, Rivulet, as you walk in, Dr. Benjamin Whitaker is currently working on something in a book in front of him. He's making notes in the margin. And as you walk up, he just sort of looks up at you and says, "Oh, well, it's been a bit. I heard that you had a bit of difficulties."
I don't know if I don't know if I'd call them difficulties. Certainly curiosities.
All the students are gossiping about how you stole a pirate ship or something.
Yes, that is a thing that did occur.
Yes, well, I will say, in my own strong estimation, that is pretty badass. So,
Why, thank you.
Hello, fellow
I will take
students.
pride.
Right, straight up.
Are you kidding? Do you see that token? My advisor is hot.
Oh yeah, no, I'm here. I'm also here for the self-effacing. I am going to use my students' language and be that guy. You know, I'm totally here for it. Yeah,
Look
he
at
is
that.
hot.
Look at that. Right?
He's
are-
very attractive.
He's
That is
pretty.
a conventionally attractive
Mhm.
face. Absolutely.
Yep. Very symmetrical, very
Uh-huh.
very dashing.
He
with his
pretty.
hair. He pretty. He pretty.
That's why
Piercing
we all come.
eyes.
Yep.
We're here to
Oh,
support
no.
Rivulet, but then also
Oh,
this is just
no.
an opportunity.
Everyone has a crush on Dr. Whitaker.
Wait. By that metric, I am also here.
Oh,
Because we have
Hey,
decided that I'm
this
here
is
too.
100% the Indiana Jones thing, isn't it?
Yes.
It is.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
Everyone's taking philosophy just to come and blink eyes at Dr. Whitaker with
Mhm.
with "I love you" written on them. Mhm.
Yup.
No,
Well-
absolutely,
No, that's Ferris
Rivulet. We're
Bueller.
here to support you.
And meanwhile, I signed up to
course.
work with him without ever knowing what he looked like, and was like corresponding for years without ever knowing, and then showed up and was like, "Oh,
I love
well,
Oh,
it.
you're
that's
hot.
a thing, I guess."
Hmm.
What did you want to speak on something specific or?
Yes. And I sort of look around to make sure the room is
It's just you
sort of-
guys currently.
and no one else could be listening in.
If I see that, you'll watch as Fairlos will just kind of very casually move back towards the door and to stand at the door like a guard. Like, still, she'll be on the inside, but she'll just kind of stand there. So if someone tries to come in, they can't just come in.
Um so something very strange happened. You heard about the well, you might not have heard about the reactors. You know about the reactors? No.
Perhaps. What
There are
kind of reactor?
reactors that are powered by opposing gods.
Divine twin engine.
I've
Yes.
heard of those, but only in a theoretical sense. You found a working one?
Yes. Well, it was damaged and we repaired it. To restore
That
it.
seems like that seems like a good thing.
Yes. No. Well, I'm not sure. It's a thing that happened. In doing so, you might want to sit down.
I am currently.
Excellent. Yes, of course. We
The-
discovered a few things about the nature of the universe and the planes and reality, and then other things.
Why don't you start from the beginning?
We were sent to an island where there was residual magic that killed essentially anyone who came near it. That fueled heating, and I explain all
Right,
of the
yeah.
ways. Yeah, I blah 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 blah. But in the process, there are a few things that we discovered. The first is that there is another side to the world.
Interesting.
Yes. And we're not sure how that interacts, and things are, filtering through the planes and through the elemental planes and through the Feywild and throughout realities and spaces. The second thing is oh gosh, what all did I need to tell the doctor? I know I have to tell the vision stuff, but this is Jen's brain not working.
I think the vision stuff was probably the main
The
thing.
vision stuff, but also we rediscovered reality and the heating bands of the world, because that also is all philosophical.
Yeah.
What the implications are for what the world used to be and
Mm.
may be again, and
Yeah, the heating
our
bands, and then
impacts
also the
therein.
idea of there used to be just a lot more gods, and then a lot of them are
Right.
gone now because of these reactors, and
Right.
none of them can ever leave, and yeah, nature
Are
of
there-
stuff.
Were there other things that the gods told us before I get to the?
Kept calling
you could,
you.
You could tell them about peak and how he was very focused on the fact that the Empire had fallen.
Right. And
I feel like from your description of this reactor, it is quite interesting. I always had imagined that the theories that I had read out of old Kasari books had been put into practice, but it is quite another thing entirely to see it in action, I imagine.
yes.
The implications of using the embodiment of a concept to boil water has always struck me as an odd function, I suppose. I really want to go
Yes.
see this now.
And perhaps you will be able to. There are also many of these locations all throughout the world. Uh, but the more while you are grappling with that aspect of the nature of our reality, as I was speaking to Peak, he said to me, he called me the dreamer and asked me if I wanted to wake up, and then I was transported.
When you say that, the writing on the prophetic writing that is on your staff,
Mhm.
which you haven't noticed yet, glows blue slightly.
Do I notice that, or is that like noticeably blue, like
Yeah.
enough to draw my attention?
Yeah.
Okay. And I will look down. Are you doing that?
No, I am not. Would you mind?
And I hand it over.
Do you recall where you got this staff?
I've had it for a long time. It's
He sets it on the table between the two of you. Huh. That is an interesting. The darkness dreaming of itself, sleeping,
Hmm.
living a lie in the light. And it seemed to react to you speaking of dreaming and being a dreamer.
I don't know what it means, but then I was transported, and there was this star field, and it was just see one thing. Computer, work for me, please. Um, I start describing what I saw, and then there was a dragon, and it had a sun in its head, and then that went dark, and the stars went dark, and there were the swords in the corners, and then I saw a creature that was like my mother, but it wasn't my mother, and it told me not to wake up, and I don't know what any of it meant.
And you say it would look like your mother, but not your mother. What do you mean?
It was it was wearing her clothes, and it was like my memory of her, but there was nothing there. There was no one there. It was like an echo.
He stands up, goes over to one of the bookshelves on the right. One moment. And pulls a book out and then comes back over to the desk and starts skimming through the pages really, really quickly. And then he stops and he says, I have a hunch. You you said it looked like your mother, but not your mother. What does your mother normally look like?
Uh, quite like me. She's a bit taller than I am. Her hair's longer than mine and wavier than mine.
Interesting.
Her skin has a bit more of a blue-green tint to it than mine.
Interesting. Interesting. All right.
Why?
Probably nothing. I need to do more research before I can be sure.
I would just like to chime in here and say, hi, Dr. Whitaker. I would just like to chime in here and say, when someone says it's probably nothing, it's usually always something.
I think you've been reading a few too many books.
Duh.
Well, I'm curious about your hypothesis since that's what we operate in.
Yes, but if I tell you before I am a little bit more certain, I feel as though I might be biasing you towards the answer. And belief makes real.
Understood.
What do you
But would
intend
not
to
your
research?
belief?
Well, I'm keeping a sense of uncertainty in my mind at the current time, but I'm coming to a potential conclusion.
No, I'm
I
saying what is the topic that you intend
No,
to research?
we asked different questions at the same time, Katie.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I didn't actually hear Dominique's question. What
It's
was
fine.
it?
What do you intend to research? What topic?
The darkness dreaming causes a bit of a twinge of something I may have read. It's not in this book, but this has got references to certain things. But I need to find a particular tome before I can be absolutely certain. But I've heard that phrasing before, the darkness dreaming.
Have any of us heard that phrasing before?
Make a history check.
I mean,
The
Ferlos
DC is-
reads.
Do
The
I need
DC
to
is-
make that history check too, or
You can make an investigation check.
okay?
Yeah. 5.
13.
Natural
Oh,
20 for a
that's
26.
Whoa!
Oof.
Been reading too many books. I'll show you too many books.
There's no such thing as too many.
All right. Well,
Too
okay.
many books, too many.
What was your rolls aren't coming through, Carlos. What was yours?
It's going. It's just taking a while. 22.
And mine was only a 5.
Oh, fair enough.
I usually don't get into the philosophy part of the stories, to be honest.
So, okay, Latia. Natural 20 always succeeds. Plus, you got +6. So, this was an extremely difficult DC. It was going to be a 25 anyway. So, you would have had to roll a 19 or 20.
This is absolutely because he spited me.
Okay,
Nice.
so, The Darkness Dreaming. You've read a lot. And one of the books you just happened to pick up while you were taking your philosophy courses was a old Kasari, sort of a discarded concept that the world exists as a dream. That the world only exists in the mind of some dreamer somewhere. And the term the darkness dreaming is a very specific reference to the dreamer.
The other reason that this is very that it's kind of funny that I get this specifically is because Final Fantasy X is my favorite game, in which the world is somewhat
Is it?
Spoilers for a 20-year-old game. You find out that one of the main characters is the product of a dream.
I've never actually played 10, so I didn't know that.
It's really fun.
10 is one of my favorites. It's my favorite
Yeah.
of all of them.
So the funny part is that the book that he's thinking of is the book you read that gave you this information. And gosh, with a 26, I mean, like, that's the idea, is that the darkness dreaming is the person who dreams the world into existence.
So I think what was the last thing that he said, if you remember?
It was something
Is
along
that-
the lines of like, I need to look for, I have some thoughts, but belief makes things real.
Are you talking about the dream world theory?
Well, yes, I am. And I believe the tome I'm looking for is the Treatise on the Darkness Dreaming.
Yeah, I've read it.
Fair. Do you remember where you saw it? It would save me some time.
Is it in one of the libraries here?
Oh
It's
yeah,
probably
it's in the library down. Yeah, it's in the deep part of the library actually.
Yeah, it's in the part of the library that nobody goes to.
Ah, the book hole, of course. All
Yeah.
right. Well, I will go acquire that tome, and Rivulet, if you would like to, you can speak with me tomorrow on this topic.
Absolutely.
I'll have a bit of a better understanding,
I'm
hopefully.
a bit surprised you're not more shaken by the notions that fundamentally alter our conceptions of the universe and the philosophical implications thereof.
Honestly, I'm mostly fascinated.
Fair.
Never be afraid or shaken by truth.
I'm curious about it, but I'm very curious about what your extrapolations are from what I've found, not necessarily on the things that you're going to continue to research, but the very nature of the world we stand upon.
Yes, I am also quite interested, and I will let you know tomorrow, I think. I need
Fair
to gather
enough.
my thoughts. I need to gather my research. I need to consult with a couple of friends. And I think I will have a better idea of a better way to answer you tomorrow, I think. Yes. Yes.
Understood. Also, where could the writing on my staff have come from? I've never seen that there before.
That I don't know.
And I certainly didn't will that into existence. That was not something that I put
If
on
my
there.
hunch, I'm going to say something that may intrigue you more, but I don't think I have time to get into it. I need to go find more research. I think you may have dreamt it into existence without realizing it. The dreamer does not do
The
things by
phrase that I had never heard.
that you, yes, it's complicated. I I need to I want to do the reading. I think I need to do the reading. I'm so sorry. And he stands up and he starts going, I'm going to do the reading. I'm going to find out. Meet with me tomorrow.
Understood.
We will discuss this more.
Understood. Thank you, Dr. Whitaker.
Of course. It's a pleasure for
Thank
all of
you,
you.
Coat Rack with a wizard hat.
Fair enough. I think that one belongs to one of the
Our
other
newest
teachers.
NPC.
I think that belongs to one of the other teachers. I'm not 100% sure. Regardless, this is such a fascinating avenue of development.
I mean, if it belongs to another teacher, I would have been suspicious of it.
Oh, well, it does belong to another teacher,
Because
but
which
yeah.
teacher? Because this is super confidential stuff that I was sharing with him. So that's
Yeah.
part of why I wanted to
Oh,
scout the room.
it's not, yeah, you wouldn't, you don't have to worry about that. That part's
Okay.
fine. Let's see here. It belongs to the speech professor, Amelia Rosenthal. But with that said, he is going to sort of like hurriedly leave with like this concentration look on his face, like he's really considering what you've brought in front of him. I would say do me, Rivulet, before he leaves, because you know him the best, make an insight check.
Ew, that is not a flattering angle.
What?
I just happened to look at OBS and notice that like my forehead was taking up the entire camera space.
It's because you're thinking so big.
I am thinking
That
big.
was not a great insight. May I burn my inspiration for this?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try that again.
Goblin was having big brain moments.
Having very big brain moment.
Well, there we go.
All right. We had a 9 and
It's gonna be a 20.
23.
23.
Nice.
Okay. So as he is leaving, he seems mentioned earlier that it seemed odd that he was not like shaken by this sort of like possibly fundamental change to the way he understands the world. Um, Two things come out of a 23. Actually, that gives you extra information over what I was going to say. What the main thing is that he seems more excited than shaken by the implications of what you've shared with him.
Of
And more
course.
importantly, he did not seem super surprised by a variety of the information that you provided him with regards to the reactor stuff.
I think
Hmm.
to kind of to kind of push that further, completely unaware of Rivulet kind of like getting a glance at him as he leaves, Essequa will just kind of like sidle up to Riv and saying, you know, the type of professor that he is, he's really good at hiding how he really feels about stuff. So the way that he seems super calm, he's really not. I don't know how he's feeling, but he's definitely not calm about that. I know that. Like it's the nature of a philosophy professor to be all like cool and calm and collect and like super hot or whatever. But yeah, he's there's something else going on there.
And meanwhile, Rivulet has done the one drop extrapolation of, oh, he's dating the speech professor. Didn't know that was happening.
Um, and with that, I think we can move. Essequa, you wanted to maybe speak with Professor Evergreen, possibly consult with him a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah, no, my request is super quick unless you make it longer.
Yeah.
Unless like the initial interaction makes it longer. But yeah, we can go to Professor Evergreen's office.
All right, let's move you to that classroom.
Are we also doing this as a group?
Yeah, I would straight up. I would say you guys are free to like. I please come with me if you want. Professor Evergreen's a bit of a hard ass, but he's really knowledgeable about stuff, and so you can come if you want. You might get something out of it.
I think at this point, Fairlos is basically just coming along as some kind of feeling of protection of like, I'm supporting my friends. And so as long as I'm not intruding, I'm going to come to be there for them in whatever way I can, even
That's
if it's just
fair.
Yeah.
standing in the
Um,
back of the room.
Yes, I also will go. I do want to be on the alert that if there's any leak that the speech professor is now on my radar as someone who might have been given information and shared it. I hope Dr. Whitaker is not going to share anything, but
He did
should
mention as he
any
was leaving that he might be consulting with other
right
people.
consulting with other experts, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like I mean, he did mention that out loud. He said it to you specifically. But yeah,
But
I get
I
what you're
mean, I
saying.
would assume that he would use discretion. Like, I don't think
Absolutely.
he would actively do things that could put us in harm's way.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, yeah.
And but I don't know how well I know the speech professor and her
I mean,
discretion.
well, Miss Rosenthal or Professor Rosenthal has been, I mean, you've been in her classes before. She has a fairly, hold on, I need to look her up really quickly just to remember some of her personality traits real quick.
It doesn't it doesn't have to be a big thing, but it just she's on my
She
radar.
seems she is a very like sort of stolid but very clever, like intensely clever
Mhm.
person
Okay.
who usually can, and she's also extremely old. She's about 250 or so years old. She's an elf. Um so she's been around for a very, 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 very long time. She's a little sarcastic, but she seems like a trustworthy, to your experience, trustworthy person. All right. So Professor Evergreen is behind his desk. You currently classes are over for the day. So like all the teachers are just kind of hanging out in their own classrooms doing various things. Um and Professor Evergreen is currently working on some sort of an incantation off to the side slightly with his hands. Maybe and then like taking notes after he does certain movements with his hands.
Mhm.
until he sees you walking up, Asuka, and then he's like, "Oh, absolute. I heard you ran into troubles.
Other sort?
Is it going to interfere with your duties as my assistant this semester?"
It shouldn't, but I have a favor to ask.
Okay.
I watched Coach Ironsides throw 3 people off of the school, and it occurred to me that that is something that could happen. And I don't have Featherfall. Can I take some time to learn that later?
Well, sure. Here, and he kind of tosses you a thin spell book. Take whatever you need out of it. It's fine.
Oh,
Just give it back when you're done.
okay. Thanks.
Anything else, or
No.
all right? I'm gonna get back to work.
Well, actually, I got a new spell book.
All right.
It's really shiny, and the paper's like nearly indestructible. Have you seen this kind of paper before?
What does that say?
Oh, like I'm like holding it, like I'm holding it cover
Yeah.
to me. So I don't know. What does it say?
And you flip it over, and it says, "The steel in letters, knowledge unfettered, chasing, curious, questioning."
I don't know.
All right. Well, I'm not particularly curious about it either if you're not. So, see you later.
Okay, thank you. But like as I turn to leave, like I got what I wanted. But like, as I turn to leave, I'm like looking at the back of my spell book. Like this thing was
Mhm.
pristine when I got it. And
It was. Yeah.
When we get out into the hallway, the dichotomy between Revila, your advisor, and Essequa, your advisor, is stunning. It is that was whiplash of the highest resort, and I was very amused.
Hey Riv, does this look similar to what you got on your staff?
And I take out my staff and compare.
It
Similar
glows
handwriting?
blue. They both glow blue at the same time.
Ooh, they glow blue in contact with each other.
Do either of you have something strange? Anything glowing?
Yeah, I'm starting to say once is a coincidence, 2 is a pattern, 3 is a me. We should get this looked at. So there's 4 of us.
I do
Oh.
not see anything on me.
Furlos, there is now that you're asked about it and you see there's things are glowing, there is a bit of a blue glow on the other at the end of your hammer.
I put the handle down on the ground and turn the head towards me and look at it and go, I'm about to be very angry with somebody. And then turn the head so that it faces all of you.
Yeah.
And that's the
where
one
it
that
says
the patient storm, a thunderous, glorious horn, heart holding hidden hope. It's very pretty. Who's written on my hammer?
I did not do it.
I didn't do it either, but I think it might be the same. I'm not gonna say person, because none of us noticed that. Like Riv has had her staff forever, it seems, and it wasn't there, and she's had it this whole time.
Same with my hammer. This doesn't leave my side, and I've had it since before I came here, so. And it takes a very brave person to mess with my stuff.
Especially when it's on you all the time.
Mm-hmm. But your book.
Right,
you
I just got it, but the cover was like first I was really excited to like put stickers on this and stuff, you know? I was really excited to like decorate it up, but now it hasn't been ruined. It's just now I have to rethink my entire decoration plan.
And Dominique, there's nothing for you. You have nothing.
Looking over my items, no.
So why were 3 of us chosen and not Dominique?
Maybe it's somewhere you can't see.
Maybe I'm just not. Perhaps I am here as the observer.
That is
Well-
a lie.
It might be true and a lie. So
As soon as Essequa says that, may I insight you, Goblin?
Yeah.
Is that something I can look to see if that's
if she's lying about
if
what?
she's lying?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, make
Yeah.
yourself a persuasion or deception check, Dominique, and you make an insight opposed to it.
Like Dominic, do you believe that about yourself? I think is
Yeah.
what.
She is. What did you get? I'm sorry.
I'm waiting to see.
Oh, I
my
got
thing
an
is very
18.
slow to. Oh, I did not do well at all. I got a 7.
What I will tell you is that she doesn't appear to be lying.
My passive actually would be higher than that, so my passive would be a 15.
Yeah. However, Dominique can't roll lower than an 18 on a deception or
Right.
persuasion check. So
Ah. Mhm.
Bards. So
Right.
if I can
Bards.
bards.
But it doesn't matter. She's from what I can tell, she's telling the truth.
yes.
So
The writing showed up on Essequa's book and my hammer and Rivulet's staff, and those are all implements that we use on a regular basis that are important to us. Dominique, you got
I
something
pull out my
that's
flask.
like as
No.
I was thinking more to your magical might or your ability to speak things into existence. Is there anything that you rely on for all of that?
She pulls out a viol and kind of spins it around, puts it away, pulls out a set of accordion, kind of puts that away, and basically just goes through all her stuff one by one. She holds her arms out and kind of spins in a circle so you guys can see the back of her armor. I do not see anything.
Yeah. And there is nothing to see.
Weird.
Well, I don't know if that tells us anything or not.
is there anything that we have done that Dominique you did not do?
No, the two of you spoke to a professor, but Fairless has not done that, and she has the writing on her hammer.
Yes, I do.
Was there anything in Frogtown? Was there
I mean, you had more to drink than we did, but I don't think
did.
that has an effect.
I don't know.
That's strange.
Perhaps it will turn up, and if it does, I will let you know.
Yeah, maybe the inciting action just hasn't happened yet. Like, it's not necessarily that we spoke to our professors, because Fairless hasn't done that.
Right.
But maybe, Fairless, you just did something different that caused the writing to be there, and now it's up to Dominique for that to be a thing. Sorry, my words disappeared.
You're
That's
doing
okay.
beautifully.
Thanks.
So, in the last couple days, we've pretty much done everything together. We all had a chance to talk to those gods, correct?
Mm-hmm.
We all went into the reactor. We all talked to the strange voice in the elevator. We all talked to the frog people.
I don't know.
That also doesn't answer why
Or
this
what
has
they
happened.
mean.
Has anyone tried to look at them with your super magi vision?
I look at us.
Where you look at stuff and you can tell how the magic works.
To identify, you wanted me to identify? I can identify. Yeah, I'll identify. Identify.
That sounded like it was asking about detect magic.
It was technically an arcana check, but identify would do
Ah.
the same thing.
What do we
I mean,
identify?
I have both. I mean, I just Riv, your staff has more or less not been magical at all, right? Like it's
It always has been magical.
It
okay.
It's
is.
always been
I just
magical.
Okay.
okay. So
But my hammer hasn't always been magical. It's just been cool, right?
Ever since you spoke with the god in the heart, your hammer has also been slightly magical.
Oh, okay. I thought he just fooled around with my armor. All
He
right.
did, but there are effects that extend to you, which you know of. There are effects
Okay.
that extend to your hammer.
Okay.
I'm gonna do detect magic then, because that, like, listening to that, like, knowing that my spell book is a magical thing, knowing, like, realizing
Mhm.
now that Rib's quarterstaff has been magical and that Carlos's hammer is also magical, I'm gonna just throw up detect magic while I say, uh, Dominique, do you have any magical stuff on you?
I do. Yes, my armor.
Okay. There's nothing on the outside of your armor, though.
No.
As far
Well, do you see a difference between that and the rest of the hammer?
Yeah, so I've detect
if you're
magic up
detect
now.
magicking, right, you do see each of those 4 magical items. They also share a glow of blue that indicates a flavor of magic you're not aware of or familiar
Ooh.
with.
Fun.
Oh, cool.
Mhm.
New
Do
magic
I
type.
right, new magic type. Do I get this from Dominique at all?
Yes, her armor.
Well, two things. I do detect a type of magic I have never experienced before from all of our stuff. And you, Dominique. It's coming from your armor. Maybe
She like pulls out the front and looks down.
There's a glow on the inside.
Oh, I found it.
Oh,
The could have been queen, who is not what she seems, but since she isn't, she is.
It's in a language I cannot understand.
would you like us to take a look?
yeah, maybe one of us knows it.
Perhaps later, when I can actually take it off.
That's fair.
Would you like to look at it now?
No.
I mean, you are
Real-
wearing something under it, so it's...
Yeah.
Yeah, but if any other student or professor kind of comes down the hallway while we're doing this, it's gonna
Yeah.
look really awkward.
So,
That's fair.
so just to make sure, the writing that's on the book, the hammer and the staff, what languages were they in?
You can read them. They aren't
And
in a
we
language.
Right, and we just haven't tried
Wait,
to
what?
read. We haven't tried to read anybody else's, like, so.
But
Yeah,
they're well, we held ours up to compare.
Yeah, so
that is
can
true.
I
Yeah,
can I read what's on the staff in the book?
you can.
But we can't, it's not a language.
It is not identifiable as a language. No, I mean, you're seeing it in common, but deep down, you understand that it's not in a written language of any kind. It's just there.
Oh my gosh, that's so weird. Wait, how
Right?
does that?
I think the way
Oh, my
Fairlos
brain is
processes that
tickling with
is
things.
this
It's
weird-
basically like it's got like a permanent comprehend languages of sorts on it. Like we
Yeah,
can tell that
yeah.
it's something that we can't decipher, but our brains have been scrambled so that it's like, oh no, I definitely know what this says.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Dominique, I don't know about the rest of you, but I can read all of this, so if you want to know what it says.
Why don't we go back to our quarters and we can check there?
Fair enough.
That's fair.
Okay.
You guys want to go back to your quarters for the night, perhaps? It is
Yeah.
pretty late at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys can go back and do that. Let's move you to your dorm room.
Dominique, what kind of armor are you wearing? Just to remind me.
It is a breastplate. I don't know if it's actually got a description.
But
it's
but
very
it's-
light, and it's got some poetic lines inscribed on it.
Yeah,
that
that have always
says-
been there.
Yeah, they've always been there. It says, "He entered, but he entered full of wrath. His flaming robes steamed out beyond his heels and gave a roar, as if of earthly fire, that scared away the meek ethereal hours and made their dove wings tremble. On he flared.
Wow.
Heats.
Well, at the very least, Dominique and Essequa ended up with words on things that already have words. So at least the two of you got something out of it. I don't know how you feel about your staff, Riv, but I'm still very ambivalent about somebody putting anything on my hammer.
Question about my staff. Does my staff have words?
It did before, yes. Give me
Okay.
1
Oh.
second.
I have the words. I just wasn't sure if they showed up or not. I
They
wanted
do,
to
yeah.
make sure. Okay.
Well, then
Yeah,
I will amend that
Do
to
you
be
want my
like,
words too?
Yes?
I
The
would
night,
love to hear
though
your
clear,
words.
shall frown, and the stars shall not look down from their high thrones in the heaven, with light like hope to mortals given, but their red orbs without beam to thy weariness shall seem as a burning and a fever which would cling to thee forever. Oh,
To be fair, Poe and Keats aren't actually on your
right.
yeah, yeah.
Citations out of character.
yeah, citations out of
But
character.
quotes within world.
Yes, yes.
I am waiting for the day that Fairlos realizes that there's like an entire sonnet on her hammer that she
Right?
just never sees.
She's gonna
'Cause literally-
snap.
She's standing there with the hammer and then goes, my hammer has never said anything except what I've made others say when I hit people with it.
I mean, your armor does have, because that's that you were imprinted with a message when your armor was blessed.
Yes, but that's my
Yeah.
armor. My hammer never had any words on it until I'm sorry, I'm talking to my god in my head. I'm trying to argue with them. But so yeah, I mean my armor has stuff, but no, as far as where the blue writing has decided to appear, this doesn't say things. This makes other people say things.
That's fair.
Except now it says things.
And to be fair, to you, Essequa, your
Yeah.
sword, your rapier has
My rapier has
had a
something
line
on it.
Yeah.
Mhm. I'm not going to read mine because I don't want to.
I'm not gonna read mine because I'm trying to remember where it is.
It's on your
on
armor.
item in
Mercy's Vanguard.
Oh yeah, it's actually in the thing.
as
So I will read off of that. So Fairlos will say, you
No,
know,
I
when
have
she's
to.
going off about all of this stuff, she's like, well, I do have on my armor. I guess you can all tell me whether I got more writing somewhere on the armor, but the armor says, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door.
That's beautiful.
That fits you so well.
Mm-hmm.
I guess since everybody else has read theirs, I got to read mine. And she like unsheathes the marble index and reads it. It says, the marble index of a mind forever, voyaging through strange seas of thought, alone. Wordsworth.
I love these poems. They make
They're
me
so
happy.
good.
As a lit nature, my brain is like just so happy right now. I get
All right.
Hamlet and poetry in the same episode.
Right?
All right.
It's just like presents from the. Thank you, DM.
Well, let's give Jen some more presents. All right, Dominique, strip.
Oh yeah, you're in
we
your
were
room now.
we were sorkening as we were reading our quotes to each
Right,
other.
right.
Yeah, it's walk and talk.
Are
Yeah.
you going to buy me dinner?
Afterwards, sure.
No.
We're at school, it's free.
Shh.
Subsidized lunches.
She's going to take the armor off and kind of peer in it, and I don't. Hang on 1 second. Let me look at. Nope. Well, thematic and material. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll just take it off, and as she removes it, look, it was just upside down. I can read it. And she will open it up and read. "The could have been queen, who is not what she seems, but since she isn't, she is."
That's a pretty cool title.
Mm.
I suppose if you want royalty, I'd
Maybe
rather be the royal mistress so that I do not have to actually rule, but I get all of the perks and benefits. But I suppose a queen would have to do.
Well, I don't know what any of these means except that they're vaguely related to who we are. I'm a little concerned about the fact that they are a magic that Essequah does not understand.
That was the glowing one, right? For you?
Yes.
Not the longer one.
This makes no sense to me.
Well, maybe I'll ask the professor about it when I return his spell book. Actually, I'm gonna flip through it. Like, what did he hand me?
Yeah.
He handed you a spell book with 8 spells in it.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
It looks like they're all level 1. It looks like it's some sort of like wizard's first spell book sort of thing.
My first spell book.
Right.
Spells with Dick and Jane.
Right.
Goofus
Level
and
1,
Gallant
shield.
cast spells.
Oh, Goofus won't cast mage armor before he goes into battle. Gallant casts mage armor and is protected from swords.
Goofus forgot his material components at home.
Dick went up onto the hill, but then when he rolled down, he fell off the side of the mountain. But Jane knew
Didn't have
Featherfall, and
Featherfall.
so he was okay.
Your dorm room is as it appears here. There is one item that there's one item that's not on the map, and that is on the top of this bookshelf over here. And you guys can decide which beds are yours for sure. You might want to make that sort of decision, but immediately, Dominique.
Yeah.
But on that bookshelf is an old-timey radio. Extremely large, currently turned off.
I do want to point out that in every single one of these maps so far, there has been a wizard hat.
Yeah. I just noticed that too.
This is like the Where's Wizard hat, Where's Waldo of Shane Peku.
This one I think is wait, hold on. This one is 8-fold paper, I think.
Nice.
Got it.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
No, I appreciate that because now I feel like a wizard hat is going to be like they're all listening. I'm wildly speculating this is completely wrong. They're all listening devices in one day.
Oh God.
The owner of the wizard hat will come to call.
Yeah, it feels like Essequah should be next to the wizard hat. Like that would be.
Yeah, I just noticed it and was like, oh, damn it.
I mean, I'll move if you want to be next to the. I wanted to be near a window, so I'm more than happy to be on the other side. And
well, sure, because I also wanted to be near a window. So yeah, we can just swap.
Yeah.
And also, I will say,
and it makes sense for me to be next to the radio.
That does give some sense to it. I was gonna say with regards to the sunlight, by the way, Furlos, because you're picking the one that's actually gonna be in sunlight.
Yeah.
Until the sun goes down, that's permanent. That doesn't move.
Cats sleep in pools of sunshine all the time.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it's true.
Just something to keep in mind.
That actually makes the most sense.
It does.
For Fairlos.
Honestly, yeah.
Fairlos is the only one who's not really bothered by it. Like I feel like this bed in other dorm rooms is left completely empty.
I think I actually.
Or like in a 5-person dorm, they have to like draw straws to decide who's gonna sleep in that bed and for how long before
a rotation.
Before they rotate, yeah.
So what you know about the radio? The radio here can pick up 3 radio stations. There's 506 or 505-6, the Relic, which plays music from the ancient Kasari Empire that's been recovered from ruins.
Yeah.
701-2, the Soliloquy, which is radio plays all day.
Oh. Wait, it was 702
701-2.
Oh, 701-2.
So NPR, okay.
And then 902-9. Oh, nope, that's not right. 902-8. Pirate Radio, which gives news and weather.
Welcome
Well, that
to the
makes sense.
wasteland.
Right?
I love that these are all
Uh,
AM stations.
Yeah. Did you say I heard click? Does that mean you turned it on?
Yes.
To which channel?
I want to go to pirate radio first to see if there's
Fair
any
enough.
news of us stealing the ship.
Yeah.
And I saw them sail off in the ship. It was, and I've talked to some of my friends from Frogtown, and they were telling me that there's this there was a group of students from the academy, and they came and they saved us, and then they stole 2 pirate ships.
That's Big Frog, isn't it?
No, this is Frog in a tinfoil hat.
Not gonna tinfoil hat.
Conspiracy.
Oh, that's right.
And yet, so far, everything has been accurate. So I'm very
It's
interested
like
for when it takes
there's
the
a-
right turn.
Yeah.
There's a character in Fallout New Vegas who is a conspiracy theorist, but everything he says, he says it wild, like he has these weird justifications for it, but everything he says is technically true.
Yeah.
God.
And I love
Yep.
that
My
character.
favorite kind of conspiracy theorist. They're right on, but of course nobody believes them.
They're
'Cause they-
Cassandras. They're
Because their
Cassandras.
delivery is so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Just a bunch of Cassandras.
Uh,
Okay.
Yeah, he's giving you essentially a recitation of of your adventure, but to everybody who can pick up this radio station.
Does it talk about the reactor?
It vaguely talks about a bunch of dead. He's like, yeah, and a bunch of people died there on the beach. It was crazy. I don't know if it was because the pirates did it because they knew that they had to keep what was deep underground secret, or if it was the adventurers who maybe they came there and like the people on the beach had turned into monsters that were attacking everybody that came by. But they're all dead now.
If you ask me, the second one helps us more. We could convince everyone that the island is actually turning people into ridiculous monsters. Perhaps they won't want to go. So hopefully this station carries broadly.
Well, and on top of that, until people know that they're going to need a specific type of magic or a specific type of drink, people who are going to go there aren't going to last very long.
Very true. We can only hope that they'll have the common sense to recognize that it's the island getting them sick and that they should leave, though.
Since when have people done what's in their best interest?
Dungeon Master.
I can still
Yep.
have hope.
When we arrived at the island and there was the door and it had the writing on it, that was the stuff of there is no
This-
honor here.
This is not a place of honor, but yeah.
Does that writing resemble at all the glowy writing that we've got on our stuff?
No.
Oh, good
Okay.
question.
That
Okay.
is a great question, and I would love it if I'd have thought of that, but no, it would not. That wouldn't work. In the context of what I know about all of these things, that wouldn't work.
That's fair. That's fair.
Let me think.
That was like a green glow, right? That was a different.
It was a
kind of,
gold, or was it pink? I think it was pink.
I couldn't remember what the color was.
Actually,
but
hold on. It's in the journal. I can
in
literally.
my
Yeah.
mind, it's a green glow, and then it changed over to, I don't know.
green would make sense in
I'm
the radiation.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's.
turtle.
I'm just
it was,
imagining it.
It was yellow and pink. Showed a
Oh, there we
phase.
go.
There we go.
Oh, I had never seen the image. That's why.
I think you weren't using the. You weren't.
I
using
couldn't
the-
use Roll20
yeah.
that day. Yeah.
Yeah.
That in my head, it was a radiation, like a neon green.
But would you guys have anything else? Would you maybe like to take a long rest now?
Yes.
Before we do, oh god, what was it? There was something I wanted to do. Let me look at my character sheet. What was it? Oh, before we do, I have a question for the group. Quick question for all of you. When you were out doing that lesson that they split us all up for, where did you go? What did you see? Did any of you see the angel body?
We're talking about the field trip.
Yes.
I believe none of these three were there for that. think
Right.
originally
It was
in
our
this, yeah.
individual session zeros.
No, I'm
Yeah.
saying none of these characters
Oh.
were there for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
That was a class that only you had.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
When we were on our field trips, where did each of you go?
I have not had a field trip.
Oh,
Just FYI.
Yeah, what do you mean
I
by
was doing
field?
philosophical work. I traveled all the way to the philosophy tower and then into the realms of the mind.
that sounds very busy.
I probably traveled farther than any of you. No. Rib, isn't that condescending? Rib would never.
That's
would
amazing.
Would never.
I can see Riv
She doesn't
saying
have
that
much
like
money, though.
jokingly, and then next to her, Fairlos is just kind of nodding, like, yeah, probably. Yeah.
Even though Furlos is clearly the most traveled of everyone here.
Yeah, well, maybe. I don't know. She doesn't.
Well, you sailed on ships for a while. You went all over the place.
Yeah, but she doesn't assume. And she
Okay.
knows that some of these folks have been from places she's never been. So yeah, I think she's. But yeah, I think when you ask Dominique, when you ask about that, I haven't done a field trip like you're talking about. If there's something specific that you're asking about, is there something you've seen?
It was we went out to one of the islands and ventured out from there, and they came across the remains of a gigantic angel figure. Royal was his name.
Does any of this ring a bell?
Rial is the name of a dead angel that his corpse decorates Avalon, the island of Avalon itself. Down there, he was during the time of the Creeping Cold, which was the cataclysm that destroyed the world a long, long time ago. He was the defender of Avalon for the longest time until something happened, and he is now permanently protecting the island as a corpse.
That's dark.
I spoke with him a little.
You guys would have I'm sure all of you would have at some point visited it. Let me see if I can, let's see here. Old Adventures, yes. Session zeros, field trip. Ha, I still have the map.
Yay!
Hey. And is this an angel that would have been an angel of a specific deity, or just an angel in the celestial terms?
Oh, wow.
Oh, damn.
Right.
Angel in the celestial terms.
Okay.
But yeah, this is what it looks like. And you guys would have this is a major landmark on Avalon. It'd be very odd if you hadn't visited it at least once in the last 3 years.
Is this visible from the school?
No, because you are,
Okay.
well, no, it's not big enough actually to be fully visible. Like if you know where it is, it's one of those things where like if you knew where it was, you might be able to spot it if you have very good eyesight. Because you're about 1.5 miles up, and it's very large, but it's not that large.
Got it.
Question about it. The water there. I remember there was like a sheen or an oil slick to it.
Yep.
Okay. Oh my goodness, another hype train. Thank you guys. Wow. With out of the things that we have seen thus far, does it have any resemblance to that water, like when we were in the reactor or anything like that?
Or the shimmer vodka?
It's a little bit similar. It's similar looking to the shimmer vodka, but probably not associated. But I would say, to some degree, I was surprised. I'm not surprised. I hadn't actually thought about this map in a while. So that shimmering water was deadly. Like anything that got near it died.
Right.
Things
That's
that
why
flew
I'm
over it
wondering.
ended up. Yeah. Things that flew over it from a certain height were okay-ish, but anything that sort of dived down even generated So yes, it is similar to the radiation you saw in the reactor. But very localized.
the surrounding the body, the corpse, the remains, the water had this sort of oil effect spread across the top of it. I started trying to figure out where these things may have come from, and it made me think of Rael. And then I remembered the water kind of looked like the water in the divine twin reactor. Not exactly the same, but similar. It could be something of a celestial divine leakage, perhaps. But I very specifically remember that we could not go near the water because it would kill you.
Or a signifier of an intersection of the planes?
Are you
Possibly.
suggesting that you put divinity next to water and you end up with radioactive water?
That I don't know. I am simply trying to play through things that have occurred.
Hmm.
You said you spoke to Rael?
Mm.
Is that a normal thing?
No.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, I guess I should ask the more specific question then. Did he speak back?
Yes. We messaged back and forth a little bit.
Anything pertinent to what we've been thinking about?
They spoke about being eternally there to guard. Let me think. Let me double check my notes.
We are starting to run up on our.
Okay. Other than that, there wasn't really much, but it might be worth going back and seeing if we could speak further.
Or getting a closer look at that water now that we've had the experience of what's going on with the divine twin reactor water.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if
Which professor led your field trip?
Them, I do not remember.
It was the history professor whose name. Give me one moment.
Yeah.
Tokens. You had
Oh, it was
Roland
Gearsmith.
Gearsmith,
Yeah.
and I believe also, Evelyn Greenwood.
That was Gearsmith and Greenwood.
No,
Oh,
I'm
perhaps-
wrong. It was
No.
Victoria Steinhardt.
No, Steinhardt and Gearsmith.
Well, perhaps we could start with speaking to them.
Couldn't hurt. But first, I could really use a good night's sleep. Reginald, are you alright sleeping on this pillow?
He's already asleep.
He's already asleep on my pillow.
Well, there
Right.
is an extra bed as well. Or 2 beds.
But
There,
Oh, I'm
Reginald,
pretty
you
sure.
Big bed.
Oh,
One
I'm
bed.
pretty sure Frog in a Wizard Hat's going to be sleeping on that
You
sooner
just
or
grab
later.
that right off the bat.
She just kind
The
of
hat has already been
scoops.
claimed.
She just kind of
Actually,
scoops Reginald and sets it to the side, sets him kind of on the side of the pillow so she has room.
The
So
wizard
you-
hat is here because it's Frog with a wizard hat.
there you go.
Sure.
That's the other thing we
Um,
can do in the
Did Frog and a
morning.
Wizard Hat just have a little like a platform, like a wizard hat? I don't know. I don't know.
Just special
Um,
hat rack for the platform. That's another thing we can do in the morning is get them their own room.
So we are going to come to a close-ish. There is one more scene I wanted to walk you guys through, but it is
Uh-oh.
not going to take us very long. Let me put your character tokens down first before I move you to that map.
We're gonna have a dream.
And
Oh
so
my
we long rest
God.
I
first.
always get nervous.
Listen, as long as we don't wake up, it's fine.
Oh, shoot. I forgot I pulled out cheese and crackers.
I mean, that
Um,
sounds like a
Yes!
good problem.
TTRP gifts, yes, there is a frog in a wizard hat, and we love him, and he is
And-
our mascot.
And that's his name, is Frog and a Wizard Hat.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You will notice there's a Frog and a Wizard
Oh!
Hat. Whoa! Oh wait! Oh wait! Oh no!
Oh,
yes,
no!
Wait!
Oh, whoa!
Oh, we're back to our friends. Hello,
Oh,
Frog
friends.
and a
all
Wizard Hat
here.
needs to wait. We're all going to have an
Right.
existential
1
crisis,
second.
okay? One thing at a time. Okay.
Okay.
Hi.
So you guys awake in this space. Again, the stars
And I
are
look around
shining.
immediately. I see them all with
Yeah.
me. You see
They
it,
are
right?
with you.
You all see it? Do you
This
all
is a
see it?
lot.
Yeah.
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 This is what you were describing.
Yes. Yes, this is it.
Is
And
that
it-
dragon still there?
Still there, still frozen, and the stars again begin to go out. Starting with the big sun at the center of the head, and then all of the stars around it. And all of you, this time you look to your left. Let me grab the token for him real quick.
Uh-oh.
Frog and a wizard hat is here too.
And it turns out Frog in a Wizard Hat is actually Dragon in a Wizard Hat.
Mm-hmm.
And
But the wizard hat remains the same
it's now
size.
tiny,
Yes.
yeah. Oh gosh.
Big dragon in a little hat.
Then
But
it becomes giant lizard in a lizard hat in a wizard hat.
that's pretty funny, actually. So walking up to the side here is a dwarf who catches your attention, and then this dream space, you kind of just like, what is this? And he walks up and he says, "Try Vikander's candies. Come on down to Vikander's Candy Shop, where you will find all the best candies." What do you mean it's going out to everybody? What? Turn it off! And then he puffs out of existence, and you all wake up back in your dorm room.
Did I recognize the voice from any of the radio stations?
No.
Was
Was
Try
there-
Vikander's Candies.
It is a candy company.
No,
that,
what did they say? Try Vikander's
Vikander's
Candies.
Candy Shop. It is a candy company that operates numerous shops in the Dwarven Mountain Homes.
Carlos just wakes up thinking that she just had a weird dream based on
So-
what Riv was talking about.
we're gonna do that, but I'll say I'm gonna move you back to the dorm room. I'm gonna give you a little bit of information, and then we're gonna close this out. Rivulet. One thing you've heard recently about the Dwarven, and this is very recent, from your professor, he thought this was extremely fascinating, was that the Dwarven Mountain Homes and the megacorps that run them have figured out a way to monetize dreams. Where they can insert their own advertisements into people's subconscious while they're sleeping.
I hate that.
I hate that so much.
So much.
And with that, I think we will end our session.
Okay.
No.
Please tell
my
me that it's
dreams are
candy
mine.
I just need to know, is it Candy Shop SHOPPE? Is it a shoppy?
Sure.
Yay.
I don't know why that makes me happy, but it does.
It is now.
But it's an
Vikander's Candy
evil
Shop.
shoppy. The E is for evil.
There you go. Evil shoppy.
And Rivulet, just from your knowledge of that, because again, your teacher told you about
Purveyors
it.
of evil, the extra P and E.
You in the back of your mind, you're like, I bet they turned the power up too high this time. And yeah, that's probably one of the first things you would think of and intuit from what just happened. And yeah, let's go ahead and end our session. Let's go ahead and read off. I'm gonna get it real quick.
Lurking
by
Rider, you're banned.
what happened?
What did they?
No.
You're
how
banned.
could you?
Cartography by Shay and Peku. Cartography by Shay and Peku Sci-Fi. Maps by Luke Stratton. Maps by Eightfold Paper. Music by Tabletop Audio. And character tokens by Greek Force 6.
And just a reminder, Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, make sure you put in the code raw sacked tofu to get your free Electrum chest.
And automatic induction into the cult.
Yes,
Join us.
Join us.
the super
Join us.
vegan cult
Join us.
Join us.
for the greater good.
Join us.
Join us.
Join
It's
us.
okay,
hail
though,
the
it's a-
glow
it-
cloud.
It's a very idle cult, though. You really don't do very much.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mostly you just eat dirt.
Anybody else
Lots
have anything
of
they want to say?
Delicious.
and a little sunshine.
Anything anyone want to promote before we go?
Real quick, I actually don't know if it's this Tuesday. So, we were talking about Humblewood earlier because Jen does awesome things and writes for awesome people and has Humblewood. It's not going to be this week, but we had our first couple of episodes on Tuesday of Trial by Fire, which is a new Humblewood campaign that I am in on Tuesdays on the Phoenix Iwaki channel. So come check that out. Will be episode 3 is next week, and I'm playing a Vulpin blade singer who is still level 1 and wants to be a ranger. So he's a baby wizard who just wants to be Essequa when he grows up.
Sounds
Essequa
fun.
is
and-
pretty cool.
Essequa
Essequa's
Essequa's so cool.
remarkably cool.
So
Ah,
cool.
thanks.
All right.
Bouncing off of that, if you are a Humblewood patron on Patreon, you can check out some of the stuff I wrote recently for them in this month's patron email-y PDF goodness. And Tuesdays in the Black on that Bronze Girls channel, we have fun adventures playing some games.
I guess I can say if you weren't at Gen Con and were even the slightest bit interested in the panels that Wizards did, that I moderated 3 of, they'll be up on YouTube at some point. So keep an eye out for those, because I don't think I do a great job moderating, but people say that I do. So you should all come and say how great a job I did moderating.
Okay, Latia is
Fill
a
the-
phenomenal moderator.
She really
I'm just
is,
gonna
yeah.
Fill the comments with
break in and-
positivity.
say Latia is a phenomenal
It's going to be
moderator.
very
And
easy
I've
to
seen
fill
her
the
moderate
comments.
some tricky stuff too, and
Yeah.
it's been
Yeah.
amazing.
It's impressive.
Well, I think that's good.
Okay.
And I don't really have an outro yet, so don't die. And we'll see you next week.
That's the outro.
That is the
That's
outro.
the outro
Don't
at this
die.
point. 3 times in a row. That's